Welcome to episode 62 of the SNLF podcast, sponsored by New Style Apparel. And there are lines dropping, and there'll be Mike, as you can see, if you're watching on the stream, he's not shaking his head at what I'm saying. That is a New Style Apparel cap that's come out, but there will be a heck of a lot more coming as we move through 2026. A full house this evening. Might be the first time for about the only time for about the next 3 or 4 weeks, as life is going to get in the way for everybody for little bits and pieces. Below me is the Sussex stat man, Chris. How are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Not too bad. A little bit for celebrating the 96-minute winner last night after 95 minutes of a game. So there we go. But it is only ever a minimum time added on that people forget. Gaz is plonked in the middle there with his little SNLF. Looks like he's got his SNLF top on as well.
I have.
There he is, repping the brand. And the man from the dugout. I'm
all right, mate, by the way. Hope you're good too.
I'm fine, thanks. I haven't had to speak to you all day, so yeah, I've been good. And the man in the dugout is up in the right-hand corner, but not the man who can bet very well. Mike, how are you? Apart from down on money.
Yeah, don't take any betting advice from me. Gamble responsibly. Just don't listen to me. Good evening, gents.
And that comes from the man going to Vegas on Friday. So expect him to be homeless with holes in his shirts and caps and everything by this time next Wednesday. You can see it happening, can't you, when the mortgage has been lost in the middle of Caesar's Palace. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on with our special guest this evening. And we've managed to get not just one, but two. So we have a duo. So we're delighted to have with us this evening from Burgess Hill, Gary Mansell and Jay Lovett. How are you both, guys?
Yeah, very well.
Good, thanks.
Really good. Nice to have you both on. Gary, I know you've done the Dugout Diary with Mike much earlier in time. And obviously, people know both of you from well around Sussex football at the moment, but a pair of you are having quite a great time at Burgess Hill at the moment.
Yeah, it's all going well so far. We're enjoying the season, and I think if you said at the start of the season, will we be where we are now? We've been very happy with that. So yeah, we're enjoying the journey, learning a lot along the way. But yeah, it's all going well. We've got smiles on our faces at the moment.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That was actually going to be one of the first questions. Obviously, you're sitting in 7th at the moment, and the playoffs are very much inside. Having beaten Dartford at the weekend, who are occupying the last place at the moment. When you came up last year, were your thoughts around just being able to survive, make sure we understand the level so that we can build from there? Or was there an anticipation maybe to just be a few places a little bit higher than that towards mid-table?
I think from a club perspective, what they sort of portrayed was just staying in the division. But we kind of looked at what Chichester had done the year before. And we kind of used that as a bit of a roadmap to kind of say, well, if Chichester can push the playoffs, could we do the same sort of thing, really? So yeah, I think internally we had a bit more confidence, and we pushed, our targets a little bit higher than maybe people expected them to be.
Yeah, I was going to say as well, Chichester would be very much the model. And I know with a few games at hand they've got this year, they're not very far away. But also as well, Jay, you've got clubs in there the size of Dulwich. You've got Folkestone, who now they've gone back home, have got tremendous support on that. You guys aren't badly supported either with your average. Do you sort of feel you kind of sit in the middle of those kind of clubs, or you've got that ability to be able to push that little bit towards where they are?
Yeah, there are some huge clubs within our league. Some clubs obviously come down from the Conference South last year. Big clubs in the league like Dartford, who we played at the weekend, Folkestone, very well supported. I think Dulwich crowds are ridiculous, aren't they? They're like something like near 3,500 each week, so at home. But yeah, our crowds have really increased over the last 2 seasons. I think last season, they recorded a 60% sort of rise in the crowds. And it must have got, which I think averaged around sort of about 460, 470. And this year, if I looked at the stats right last time, the stat man I know obviously, but stats at this time round, I think we're averaging around 721. That's before our last game, so it might have gone up because we had 818 last game.
Yeah, it's 734.
Yeah.
There we go. He's always on it. He's always on it. That got to say, which is fantastic as well. And of course, you've got Hayward's Heath down the road, who are doing great things. And obviously, if they can get themselves up as well, Mid Sussex is starting to look quite strong through that kind of A23 corridor. Have there been any surprises from sides, good or bad, Gary, that you've seen so far? Sides you think should have been doing better than they are, and some that are actually, doing worse than they should be?
Yeah, I think if you look at the teams that have kind of been higher up in the sort of pyramid, you're looking at Welling and St Albans, teams like that. You'd have thought, expected a bit more from them maybe, but no, I think at the start of the season we kind of looked at the division. We knew Chatham would be there, we knew Folkestone would be there, we knew Dartford would be there, but to be around that sort of 6th and 7th with the Dulwich and teams like that, I think no, I think it's kind of panned out, apart from maybe Welling and St Albans, as you'd expect. Billericay are on a bit of a run now as well. They're starting to climb the table, so I think it's kind of evening itself out.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, we're only just coming up to the end of January, so we've still got plenty of football to be played as well. Mike's already been this season. I've been as well. First time I'd actually been, so I didn't know what it looked like before. But it really strikes you once you get straight through the turnstiles. I mean, I was at Brentwood on Saturday, and you can see the contrasting difference between grounds, at the same level. And that, does that give you as well what you've got there now, that kind of extra little bit when you're trying to sign players?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think the whole face of the club, as you guys would have seen, has changed. It looks a lot more sort of professional now. The whole setup is great, including the little 3G just the side of the pitch as well, the fan zone area. But yeah, everything down there is starting to look very, very sort of professional. Done a great job of it. So when you're talking to a player now, it's not only, can we say, one, about the crowds obviously increasing, so we get a really good atmosphere there, but obviously, look, you come to play on this week in, week out. We train here as well. It's a great selling point as well for the club. So yeah, of course, doing quite well in the league at the moment as well. So if we're trying to get a new player or trap them in, all these sort of selling points sort of add up and help us sort of sell us.
Yeah, it does help, don't it, just to make it that little bit better than the neighbours down the road. And the other thing I noticed as well is, I mean, I came up when you played Averley, who were superb that day and really didn't give you an absolute moment, to breathe at all. And I know you had 2 or 3 youth players on the bench because I know you're struggling quite a bit with injuries as well. But that's one thing I think I've noticed about the pair of you, is that you're not afraid to give the youngsters a chance. If I remember rightly, you had quite a good run in the FA Youth Cup last year.
Yeah, we've over the last sort of 2 or 3 years, we've set some foundations down for our youth system, which is really we've benefited from. So last year, I think we used 13 under 18 players in the year we got promoted. The youth boys got to the 3rd round of the FA Youth Cup. I think they got to the 2nd round again this year. They've just got to the Isthmian League Cup final. So we've got a talented crop of players coming through, and players that we had last year are now playing at Step 4 clubs, and a couple are still with us. So yeah, it's been a big factor in how the club's developed over the last couple of years. And
alongside obviously giving the youth a chance as well, you've got some good experience in there as well. Brandon's obviously dual signed with Hayward's Heath today, as we saw. But you've also got the likes of Glenn Raya as well. Luke Gambin, I know from his time at Barnet, has obviously played pro level, the same as Glenn as well. How easy is it to get those type of guys in as well, especially when they've played at a really good level, to come down to, essentially a lot of people won't know Burgess Hill outside of Sussex. How easy is it to get them in?
Well, it's starting to get easier is the answer to that question. But I think the main thing we do is if we get someone either on the phone to us, if we can have a chat with them, if we can get them in the door and show them the facilities and buy into how we do things, and we give them like a little presentation of how we go about things and the style of play we want to have. And also give them sort of the responsibility. So we've got some very, very talented youngsters here. They could really benefit from your guidance. I think it gives them a little task as well, trying to bring the youngsters through. And they take them under their wing a little bit and really sort of show them the ropes, good and bad, or things. Obviously, it doesn't help us when they decide they tell them that the youngsters are really good and they come speak to us and want more money for the following year. But that's not that's what they're there for. They help guide the youngsters through it. I mean, I remember from my days playing, if someone who was a senior player, a senior figure, then told me I had a good game, it made me feel brilliant about myself for the rest of the weekend. And that's the kind of experiences we want to give back to our youngsters. And as you rightly said, and Gaz rightly said a minute ago, our youngsters are superb. We have given them a real good chance. We've got many links from different places, and we bring the youngsters in, and they've come and hit the ground running, really.
But I think to add to that, I think it's been an important component, them youngsters having them kind of players around, like Chris Whelpdale as well. And I think the thing sometimes people overlook when we talk about Glenn and Luke, and they just want to play football. So they've come to Burgess Hill because they see it as an environment where they can come and enjoy playing football, which has been really refreshing actually in the pair of them coming to the football club.
Yeah, I can imagine. Mike?
Gents, how we doing?
All good, thank you very much.
All good.
Firstly, I want to thank you two of the most approachable, open coaches we've had the pleasure to deal with. Your phones are always on. You're always there to support. You always come on and support us. So thank you. I really appreciate that.
You're more than welcome.
Secondly, I come and saw you this season in one of your cup games at home. Now, I grew up playing in the years when Burgess Hill, in the early 2000s, when they were going through a peak, and then about 10 years later, they went for a really good spell. I started speaking to some of your fans at the game, and there is a sense of excitement around this club. They see that this club is one that's on the up, and and they obviously believe in you. They believe in the players. Can you tell me what's changed? You had the new owners come in, and what's really the next plan for the next couple of years?
I think
you two will be involved. Don't worry, lads.
Yeah. I think obviously winning football matches creates a culture of a more positive sort of environment, and what we've managed to do is, whilst we've kind of sailed along that wave of success, we've managed to build infrastructure in the club as well. The new introduction of the new 3G pitch has been coupled by the promotion last year, so that gives a feel factor across the club that people come in and enjoy. And then obviously seeing the youngsters coming in and doing well, everything just kind of connects and falls into place. So for us moving forward is kind of how we enhance that and how we kind of learn from that and try and make that kind of established and not fall away from it. We've got, regardless of results, and in this division you can easily win 3 in a row, lose 3 in a row. So it's just making sure that there's no panic or anything, or we don't go away from what we believe in, that's gained the success over the last couple of years.
I think part of that excitement as well is people buying into the style of football that we have played as well. I think we've played quite attractive sort of style of football. So when people come down one way or another, it's sort of they've definitely been entertained from that side of it. As Gaz rightly said as well, when you're picking up results, that helps everyone buy into it. Burgess Hill as a town as a whole is massively developing and growing. Houses being built sort of everywhere, and so we can keep hyping the club and the crowds keep growing. We've got great owners like David and Vicky doing everything they can to make the club looking as best as it can and running as best it can as well. Then it's every little thing in the background sort of been done before, like massive money's thrown at it, and we sort of just shoot up. But we're holding our own with the squads that we have, and we've got some good players in, and hopefully that's sort of, as we always laugh about, is the entertainment business.
I mean, I know. Obviously, I spoke to you a bit up at Three Bridges as well when you guys were up there watching the game. You're doing it your owners, your committee, you guys, you're doing it in a sustainable way. You're not just doing it there where, you know, you're throwing everything at it to make it happen. You're doing it great. But can I ask you one more question? Can you tell me, lads, what a week looks like to you at this level with the team?
I think Gaz is still there now.
I am, yeah.
Go on, tell me what a week looks like.
So a typical week for our first team would be a Tuesday night is either game or we train. And what we do on a Tuesday is we try and replicate game load. So Tuesdays are always very high intense, high tempo. Duration is a minimum of 90 minutes so that we try and replicate game load on a Tuesday. So, you know, you're conditioned for a 2-game week. That's kind of how we work. Although this Tuesday we actually gave them a night off. But generally that's how we work. A Thursday evening, the team will come in for a 30-minute meeting before we start training where we'll do the analysis on the opposition. We'll look at some of our own stuff. We'll have discussion around where we've kind of been, where we're kind of going. There might be some feedback opportunities from previous games. And then we'll go out and train again. And then obviously Saturday's a match day. So that's kind of generally how the week in terms of the squad looks. In terms of myself and Jay, it never
Is
really
it daily?
stops.
Is it daily?
Yes, it never stops. We try and leave each other alone on a Sunday to try and have a day off. But other than that, it is constant discussing players, tactics, formations, travel, analysis, which clips we're putting in, set pieces. It's constant. So, but that's the same for everyone at every level. Yeah.
Just one more little quick question then, lads, because who do you see as the best 3 teams in that league at the moment, in your opinion?
I'd go Folkestone, Chatham, and toss up between Dartford and Averley.
Like it. Gaz?
Yeah, Folkestone and Chatham for me will be the top 2, I believe. I think they're the best 2 we've played this year. I thought Brentwood were really good when we played them earlier in the season. I know they've kind of been a little bit up and down of late, but they were good earlier in the season. But yeah, we couldn't get away from the performance from Averley here was really, really good. Not a good day for us, that one, unfortunately.
Well, lads, you know, you've been wonderful to us. I really, really hope you guys kick on again. The club's in great hands. It's an exciting time to be a fan of Burgess Hill for sure. And long may it continue with you 2 at the helm. Thank you for all the support.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Gareth?
Interesting you both with Chatham, because I've seen Chatham this season and I was really underwhelmed.
Oh, really?
Really, yeah. They must have just had a bad day. It was against Chichester, and they must have had a really bad day. But I was really.
We was at that game actually. Weren't we?
Yeah, we went to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I felt they were really underwhelming that game. But hey, that might have just been me, considering their full time and everything else. I was expecting a little bit more. But
yeah, Troy probably should have won that one, shouldn't they?
Say again.
Troy should have won that one, shouldn't they?
Yeah. I spoke with them after, and he was really disappointed. To be fair. So, look, I got a few questions about obviously the step up from last season to this season. Is there less margin for error week to week compared to what you had last season? You get punished a little bit more, yeah?
Oh yeah,
100%. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then we say the higher level you go, the fewer chances you get, and the fewer mistakes you can make. And we've learned that, good and bad, this year. We've learned a lot from the whole season, really. But yeah, it's definitely, we've had chances in games, and I think our fans and people that have come down and have watched us as well would say this as well, where we could have finished teams off. And last year, I think when we're doing well last year, although it is a big jump up this year, last year you could probably get away with missing 2 or 3, but you know you're still going to score 2 or 3. Yeah. This year, if you score 1, you need to sort of finish and put the game to bed. And I think this year, if you left ruin those chances that you might miss, And then if you make a mistake on the opposite end, you get punished more because the strikers are more lethal, really.
Yeah, I know. Gary, how important has mentality been when results haven't gone your way this season? Because obviously last season you did really well. This season you're doing great, but obviously there's going to be results this season that you'd be really disappointed in.
Yes, it's massive, to be fair. We built the squad last year based around culture in the dressing room. We felt we needed a stronger mentality in the dressing room. We needed more people that had been promoted in the past or had been around the top end of the division to kind of help what we thought was a good group that we already had, a good core. So mentality was massive for that, and it kind of got us over the line in the playoff final last year, in that we were 1-0 down at half time, and the kind of mentality was, well, actually what's got us here through the season needs to be the way we approach the second half, and that's kind of what they did and got us over the line. And then this year it has been a little bit up and down, really, because we've had some poor performances in the cups, and then I don't think last year we had any back-to-back defeats. So this year, when we did get beat back-to-back, it was a little bit of a new ground for us. So managing that was different to last year, but actually the boys have shown brilliant resilience when we have had a poor run or poor performance. So the Averley performance was followed up by a defeat to Chichester, but actually we then went and beat Lewis, and then we got battered by Hashtag in a poor performance, but then went and got a point at Folkestone and beat Dartford. So they are showing a resilience and a mentality to repair poor performances, which is good.
Yeah, good. Couple of quick fire ones for you. What's one thing that supporters might not realise about life at the higher level from last season?
Good question.
The level of detail that teams go to now, everyone is analysing everyone. Last year we benefited from being quite detailed, whereas this year everyone's doing it.
Yeah. I think the higher up you go as well, the more easier it is to get that information, right?
Definitely. We've got a tool called obviously Y Scout and Huddle, and then we can analyse anything on there. It's a great tool to have, but the unfortunate thing is majority teams in our league have that as well. So, but we did do a presentation on the Q&A night at the club, and Gary went through one of the analysis sort of meetings that we'd have at the club, and I think that quite shocked a few of the supporters of how much detail we go into about the opposition, looking at the last three lineups, their formations that they play, key players that we will target, and how we go about devising our own training session on a Thursday night to go and get a result at the weekend. And I think that sort of gave them a bit more in depth of how we go about things.
Yeah. One final one. What's the least enjoyable part about stepping up?
Oh, we had a couple of tricky journeys, didn't we? Coach driver went the wrong way.
Couple of secret tours,
yeah. That wasn't a good night. Friday night at Averley, and you went through central London. So that.
Yeah, we saw the Houses of Parliament and everything, didn't we?
Yeah,
Super.
That wasn't fun.
Brilliant.
And there's just a question there that says, do you tend to agree on most things as a manager duo, or do you ever clash in heads?
We tend to agree on most things. We do question each other quite a bit, and I think that's quite important to our roles, is the fact that we will ask the whys of why we make a decision or why we think something's good. But the one thing we always do align on is that after we've had this discussion and left the room, that's what we're going with, and no one will falter back on the original sort of statement with it. So we're both aligned when we go into training, and if anyone asks us the same questions, we're back each other with the same answer. But we have plenty of discussions ourselves, backwards and forth.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you more analytical questions now, Chris.
Well, you think so? Taking most of mine, so good to see that good minds think alike. Nice to meet you, gents. Hope you're well. Good luck for your trip on Saturday, going back to Averley. I hope you take a slightly better route than you took for the game against Hashtag. Yeah, I mean, we've already answered it through Gaz. Like, what do you think the step up in quality has been like? Because both yourselves and Ramsgate, who achieved ridiculous points totals last year, have both you've stepped up with I don't want to say relative ease, because I appreciate like you've had your ups and downs in the season, but like again, neither of you are in any danger of relegation at the moment. What would you put that down to?
I think the first part of your question, what's the difference in the step up? I think fitness and decision making is huge in it, which is why when Gaz alluded to it a bit earlier in sort of the questions is what do we do in our training sessions? The reason we changed the Tuesday night training sessions is we felt at the start of the season we were slightly off the pace in terms of fitness. We were losing games in the sort of the last 10 minutes of the game, and we needed to up the fitness, and we sort of trying to devise a way we could do that within training, which is why we did a 90 minutes sort of worth of training. So that helped us massively. And when we acclimatised to being as fit as everyone else, because obviously we were learning along the way on the job, it sort of really helped us and put us in good stead for these games now. And I think we went for a spell where we had I think it was 4 games in a row where it was a sort of 94th, 95th, 96th, 97th sort of minute, either scored to equalise or scored to win the game, and that sort of was a nice little turnaround that was.
Yeah, I remember actually us talking about that earlier in the season, particularly the Aveley game, because it was on a Friday night, and I'm a very boring person, so I didn't have anything else to do, so I was keeping in touch with it. And I remember seeing all the goals, and I remember being a bit gutted for you. But I mean, the way you've started the season's been brilliant, but you've got better as the season's gone on. Since October the 3rd, you'd be in a table that started from then. You'd be 5th.
Okay.
Which, given you came up via the playoffs as well, you had to beat a very good Sitting Bull side to do it. The point about mentality was really interesting as well, because I remember watching that penalty shootout because somebody was streaming it.
Yeah.
And I never ever felt like it was going any other way. I don't know if that was just because Slav was in goal and he's very confident, but that was really good to see actually.
Well, the best bit about that one was because Boxy had the chance, Martin Box had a chance to win it. And I was sort of really nervous. I remember looking down to the floor, and Gaz turned around to me and went, "Don't worry, it's Boxy. Boxy never misses." and lo and behold, obviously he went and sort of shanked it out. But that's forgotten now, and Boxy would probably kill me for saying that now. But we got through, and that was a big day. That was, yeah.
But you were definitely one of the best teams who came to the Saffrons last year when I watched. I remember it was a bank holiday. Dan Perry scored. I just remember thinking, because that was one of our first home games having just come up as well. And I remember thinking, God, we are in for a long season if this is the level. And luckily you were at the upper echelon of it, and that wasn't the level, and we were okay. So that's good. What are your aims for the rest of the season now? I don't want to put you under too much pressure or commit you to radio, but what does the season bring now?
Well, we always try and be better in the second half of the season than the first. So we've got a bit of a proud record at the minute that we haven't been beaten by anyone twice in the season over the last 2 years. So the point at Folkestone was quite big for us personally, because that was in danger of going. So I think that's our kind of aims moving forward, is that we'll try and be better than we were in the previous game, and see where that kind of takes us.
Nice. Well, just what I don't know. I'll finish on a stat. You haven't lost 3 games in a row in the league this season, which again, given you've stepped up to a much bigger level, and also
that's good there, Jay touching his head.
Yeah, touch wood.
Oh
Yeah.
right, sorry. I was like, what's that on? And given you've stepped up to a much bigger level, like that's quite an achievement. It's easy to go on one of them losing runs, but thus far you haven't done it. So yeah, I'll touch one on your behalf as well. Well done on a great season so far.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, it's been really good. Thank you very much.
I'll just go to that question in the comment as well. Where should the club be in the next 5 years? Sort of how much further can you progress, do you think?
There's obviously a lot of work to be done at the club, because we're step 3 ready just about, but step 2 brings there's different regulations in terms of the ground. So it's not just on the pitch and the squad going up to step 2. The club itself's got to be ready to go up to step 2, and they're conversations that we're having. So we are ambitious enough to try and pursue that kind of ambition, but there's a lot to be put in place. So our sort of target is, could we get promoted within the next 5 years? That's a club target. and them conversations are going on at the club now as to, okay, what do we need to put in place for that to happen around the ground? How do we increase the capacity? How do we improve the playing squad to get there? And then what does it look like to not just go up, but to hold our own when we do go up? So that's the kind of 5-year plan, target, if you like.
Perfect. Right, I've got a couple of quick ones that we'll finish on. Favourite ground you've been to so far, or still looking forward to going to before the season finishes?
Yeah, we had this discussion ourselves, didn't we? I think favourite one I've been to so far is probably Dartford, and the ground I'm looking forward to going to most now, because we haven't done it yet, and obviously the massive crowds that get there, will probably be Dulwich.
Yeah,
I'm aligned with that. Agreement with both. Dartford was really good, and I'm looking forward to Dulwich, which I think is right at the end of the season, actually. So, yeah,
that should be good. Should be good. And so far this season, what's been the favourite moment for you both?
Oh, I think St Albans win away was good. The last minute.
Yeah, that one, and the draw, the 3-3 draw at Dartford, because we started off so badly, then got ourselves back into the game. Then they scored like a 92nd minute deflection free kick, and then Worf scored like a 94th minute equaliser, and that was a good day at the office. Yeah.
Tell you what, not many teams will take 4 points off Dartford this season, so
no, they're a good side. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Well, listen, guys, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Really appreciate you giving us your time. I hope you've enjoyed the questions fired at you, because there have been some really good ones, actually. Probably some of the best I think everyone's put across the season. So good luck for the rest of the season, and fingers crossed you finish up in the playoffs.
Yeah, they will.
Thanks for having us on.
No, thank you for your time, guys. Appreciate you having us on.
Cheers, lads. Top.
All the best, Joe.
Thank you.
Take care.
Lovely. That awkward silence. I tell you what, though, they are two of the most approachable at a game. When you see them out, pick up the phone. Two really, really good lads. You know, you can't thank them enough. They've done a lot of our shows and the spin-offs and stuff like that. You know, type of gaffers you'd really like to play for, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Very nice. Very nice. And I'll tell you what, guys, that's some really good questions. They really were really good. Some of the best I'd thought probably we've had from you three for the entire series. So well done.
From us three.
Yeah, from you three. Yeah. Yeah. Very impressive. Well, yours didn't sound like they came from ChatGPT either, Gaz. So you look like you actually put a bit of thought into it. Yeah, I know.
Well,
I know.
what's been happening, lads? What's been happening?
Obviously, someone spell checked it anyway. Right, let's get on, because we've got a fair bit to get through as always, and we'll kick off with the National League South. On Saturday, Worthing went down 3-2 at Bath City. Eastbourne Borough lost 2-1 at home to Farnborough, and Horsham lost 3-2 at home to Chelmsford City. On Tuesday evening, Eastbourne Borough went down 2-0 at Dagenham and Redbridge, and Worthing lost 1-0 at Hampton and Richmond. This coming Saturday, Horsham are in FA Trophy action in the fifth round as they head to Scunthorpe United. In the league, Eastbourne Borough host Enfield Town, and Worthing are at home to Weston-super-Mare. Then on Tuesday evening, Worthing make the return trip to Weston-super-Mare, and Eastbourne Borough head to Horsham YM in the Sussex Senior Cup quarter-final with a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Sussex is very out of form in the National League South. We didn't have a single win from 5 games. What's going on?
They're having a Weston-super-Mare, aren't they?
They are having a Western, and Hornchurch have gone back top again.
I know. I can't believe that, because, you know, obviously my betting run continued last night. Adenaka, 5 teams. What's the one team to let me down?
Worthing.
If I'm right, Chris, 5 games without a win.
Yeah, and that's the first time that's happened this season. Winless in 5, no clean sheet in 6. That's the first time as well. Like, they were away at Hampton, and Hampton have not been in great form, it's fair to say. So to fail to score there, that's the first time they've not scored in 17 games. That's pretty big. Yeah, it's a bit of a wobble.
I thought that was a gimmick last night. I really did against them.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I just thought, they've been up and down after when Hinch and Mino come in, set the place to light, got everyone believing again. Battered, was it Hornchurch? They battered 5-0 as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
They come in, went to the top, and they just dropped off, didn't they? I gave them the kiss of death.
It's the pressure, I think, of being on top. They struggled the last two seasons.
Why is there pressure? Do you know when people say this, right? And it's a great point, Gaz. When people say it's the pressure of being on top, yeah, was just as much pressure to get to that top. I know. I mean, if you've played, or you've coached, or you've seen football, once you're there, you just have to maintain or go above your standard that what you do. When people say it's squeaky bum time, Ferguson used to say it all the time, didn't he? And things like that. I'm not a believer in the pressure there. I'm not a believer in that.
Maybe it's a mentality thing. I mean, it's different when you're chasing. I'd say it's different when you're chasing it because there isn't the pressure because you've got to make the ground up. So you've got to maybe work 10 times harder than the 3 teams above you to get to that level. When you get to that level, does the relaxation come a little bit because you think we've got there, but actually we've still got 3 months of the season to go. Maybe there's a little bit of that.
Woven have gone from having a game in hand and being 2 points clear at the top to no games in hand, Hornchurch having 2 games in hand on them, every other team having 1 or 2 games in hand on them, and 2 points behind Hornchurch.
And 2 trips to Western-super-Mare back to back.
Yeah.
Is that what they've got?
Yeah. Were you not listening? Literally 2 minutes ago.
No, to be fair, I was checking through my hackers because I thought one last hacker, surely it'll work. And Barcelona are getting beat by Copenhagen, so I'm out. I'm done.
That's the gambler's fallacy for you. But
I think they're bottling it. I said that they would struggle. It was all going to be roses when Hinch come back, but it's nothing on Hinch, nothing on the players. I just felt like it might have been a step too far in this. And look, I hope I'm wrong. But
it is
playoffs.
The thing that's more worrying for me from a Worthing perspective is not just the fact that they've gone 5 without a win. You look at the opposition they've had in that, and it's teams invariably in the bottom half, with the exception of Horsham, who, as we all know, and we'll probably come to, are also having a bit of a wobble. They've had Chippenham at home, who are bottom. They've got Bath City, no sort of form. Hampton, no sort of form. Salisbury, they managed to lose 5-4, which is...
What a game that must have been.
Well, yeah, but I think they went behind 5 times. Like, there's just something seems to be eating away at Worthing, and I just can't for the life of me see what it is. But
I suppose as well, though, if you're going to have a blip, have it now, not at the end of March, April time when you've got little time to repair it. There's plenty of time and damage, and the weather keeps up like it's supposed to at the weekend as well. There's going to be a few games off again at the weekend. They'll benefit from being at home on the 3G. May end up not going to Western on Tuesday because I think they should have been at home last night, Western, and it was postponed. So things could work in their favour this weekend. You just don't know. But
I'm still confident they're going up.
It's going to be a tough battle in it between all those sides up there again. I think we're going to have something similar to what we had at the end of last season in that division, with 6-7 clubs able to do it on the last day again. Which would be absolutely epic. 6-7.
You wouldn't rule. I mean, the top 6 at the minute's 4 points. You wouldn't rule Hemel out at this point. Like, no. They're quite solid at the back as well. Like, it's very tight, really, really tight.
I don't know what's going on there.
Gaz is impersonating the Dugout Diaries. Your food. He's the dugout. Your food.
Well, I know.
I want some Skrilla for that. Using my trademark.
I should put my little food guy logo on there, but I don't know what's happened there. I'm only going to get a drink and blow my nose.
Thank you. Anyway, moving to the opposite end of the table, it's started looking a little bit bleak for Eastbourne, but weren't they in a kind of similar state 2 years ago when Mark Beard went and Alan Murray came in?
Yeah, I mean, you said they went down 2-0 And I'm not going to lie, that's probably not the last time this season you'll hear the words Eastbourne Borough and went down. They are not looking in good nick at all. I think if the table started in like November, they'd be bottom, which, considering they've changed their manager already, is a concern.
But we did highlight this at the beginning of the season. Statman, you said that they had the young squad going at the time. Is that still the case, I believe?
Yeah, last I checked Transfermarkt, they've still got the youngest, So, but then Dover aren't that much younger. It's not just, there's more. I think there is more to it than that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they've only scored 2 in the last 5, which is a bit, again, that's not going to win you many games. And they're at a point now where, unfortunately, they need to start winning games. But losing to Farnborough in the way they did, like being ahead against a team who, they're battling with to survive, and then conceding 2 goals in the last 20 minutes, one of them in injury time, it just feels like, I don't know.
I mean, I'm always a big advocate of, if you're good enough, you're old enough. Yeah. I know as you move up in the steps and the quality of football, you do need some experienced heads around you. And it is easier for younger players' confidence to drop, especially when they are on runs where, they can't buy a win here or there. It's tough because that club should be at the upper end of the table. They really should, and it'd be interesting to see, because without letting the cat out of the bag, we might have someone coming from that direction in the near future, mightn't we? So
be a hat trick for Eastbourne Borough this season. One of the few they've had, I think.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think that person might not come on now, because he might think, hang on a minute, these lads give him the kiss of death. But it's a shame, because I love the rivalries that they have, in there. But you would have seen them more, Statman, being they're your your richer cousins over there, But
no, I mean, I follow a bit.
Are they going to get out of it? Yes or no, lads?
No.
No. Oh, that's a resounding no. Don't fucking around the bush. I like that.
That's a Gareth. That's a Gareth kind of no. That was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm back. We got a comment on Instagram saying, I worked under Adam Murray, and the atmosphere we had when we stayed up is very different.
Oh.
In terms of,
I don't know. Hopefully he'll come back. It's M. Hayward. I don't know. Hold on.
The old pub landlord.
I mean, while Gaz tries to get that comment up, I watched the game against Horsham fairly recently. Now, Horsham are in, again, no sort of form, really. And it was a walk in the park for them, to be completely frank. It was 2-0 going on 4 or 5. They missed sitters. Borough just didn't look like they had any sort of goal threat, really. They did score 1. It was disallowed, maybe a little harshly, but I don't think, I think that would have been a bit harsh on Horsham had it stood, to be fair, just on the overall phase, the overall sort of run of the game. But they've scored 2 in 5, Borough. Again, they need to really sort that out. And if you're losing at home to teams, they've won 1 home game all season. Like, again, there's so many different angles I can point here. If I've just had a comment come through from a friend of mine, which says re Eastbourne Borough, ha 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 ha, which I think is a bit mean. There's no need for that, Giles.
I mean, there's 7 points off safety stats. Do you know what I mean?
But all the other, you look at the form of the teams around them as well, and like Borough have got 3 points from 16. Everyone else is picking up more points than them. Farnborough beat them. Hampton and Richmond now are starting to pick up a bit. As a Bath, I think Borough might have Bath soon, actually.
I mean, surely when they saw that the Richmond beat Worthing last night, they were thinking, is our luck going to change at what point?
I think if they don't win on Saturday against Enfield Town at home, probably the only team in the league with worse form, it is Curtains.
There we go. You heard it here
It's
first.
Matthew Hayward, by the way, who was at Eastbourne last year. He's at Burgess Hill this year as an analyst.
Okay.
So yeah, he's saying that the atmosphere was around the club, and I'll be honest with you, I was around the club when Adam Murray came in last year, and yeah, there was still a positive atmosphere around there. I don't know this year.
Right, let's get into the Isthmian Premier Division. And on Saturday, as we mentioned, Burgess Hill Town beat Dartford by 2-1. Chestnut beat Chestnut beat Chichester by 2-0.
Like a cat.
Lewis beat St Albans
Just
City
pops
by
up.
1-0, and Whitehawk and Canvey Island drew 1 each. This coming weekend, Lewis head to Billericay Town, Whitehawk are away at Carshalton Athletic, Chichester City host Averley, and Burgess Hill head to # on Tuesday. Chichester City head to Canvey Island, and Whitehawk are away at Dulwich Hamlet. We've already spoken about Burgess Hill, how close they are to the playoffs, but Lewis are not going away either, are they?
No, although I mean, just to pick up on what the guys Gary and Jay said earlier, like Billericay are the ones who I think stalking a bit of a march, appreciating they're not in Sussex, but
beat St Albans on Tuesday, didn't they? 3-2.
Yeah, four wins in a row for them now, and I think they're now 7th above Burgess Hill, so it's gonna be tight. Yeah, no, Lewis are doing well. Four wins in 6, so can't say fairer than that. It's again, it's just so tight now, and Dartford seem catchable now in a way that they possibly haven't for a while.
Yeah, I mean, do we think the top 3 behind Folkestone is as it is, considering they're 5 points in front of Dartford and everyone's literally playing for one playoff place?
It's been that way for a while for me. But Brentwood, I mean, they've lost 3 in a row now, Brentwood, which, I mean, if I was a Brentwood persuasion, which I'm not, they might, that might be putting the heebie-jeebies on them a little bit. But then, they've played Cray Wanderers, Billericay Town and Dulwich, so it's not the easiest run of games. I think, just is that last one spot.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there wasn't a lot between Dulwich and Brentwood on Saturday. And only, Brentwood came out second half and looked like the only side that was likely to score. Dulwich scored against the run of play and absolutely killed the game from that point in. Although Brentwood had a really good chance at 2-0 down with an absolute free header, the bloke stuck over the bar would have made it 2-1 with about 13 minutes to play. Would have, put a bit of interest on it. But
to answer that question though, about is it one spot, Brentwood go to Dartford on Saturday.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah. So that's very that could be a very interesting one to go with. Anyone else want to chuck anything else in the pot with that one or not?
No, not really.
I was going to say I wasn't paying attention.
I'm
wife's making noise over here, so I'm muted. Sorry.
I am looking at the table though, and they have got a legitimate chance of getting playoffs, haven't they? Burgess Hill, they really have.
Oh, I'll come in.
So if Lewis win their game in hand, puts them on 40 points, the same as Burgess Hill. That's what I mean. Lewis aren't going away, and if they can get that real consistency, which they seem to struggle with, and again, St Albans have been in reasonable form, and now all of a sudden, fallen out of form, and lost a couple on the bounce. So if you're playing St Albans the next couple of weeks, you might be all right.
Yeah, Lewis have got 3 clean sheets in 5 as well, which that's the sort of stability you want in when you're trying to make a play of it. On Whitehawk, they've won 3 of their last 6. The 3 they haven't won have all been to teams in the relegation zone, including 2 to Canvey. They lost 1 and drew 1 with Canvey. Very, very weird behaviour.
That's strange.
And again, they've got a lot of games in hand as well, haven't they? So they could still steal a march up the table and be in that conversation if they can pull off that consistency. Right, let's get into the Isthmian South East Division. And on Saturday afternoon, Broadwood Chiefs game with Sittingbourne was postponed. Crowborough Athletic beat East Grimsby Town by 3-1. Deal Town beat Three Bridges 3-2. Hassocks went down 1-0 at home to Sevenoaks. Hastings and AFC Whiteleaf shared a 0-0 draw, and Eastbourne Town won 3-2 at Margate. On Tuesday evening, East Grimsby's home game with AFC Whiteleaf was postponed, as was Crowborough's Velocity Cup tie at home to Redbridge. On Saturday, East Grinstead Town host Beckenham Town. Eastbourne Town are at home to Erith Town. Hastings United head to Faversham. Broadbridge Heath are at Herne Bay. Hassocks head to Sheppey United. Crowborough Athletic are at Sittingbourne, and Three Bridges host Mersham. Then on Tuesday evening, Crowborough and Redbridge will try again in the Velocity Cup. After we went on air last week, Grant Hearn stepped away from East Grinstead Town. Slight surprise, I think, from all of us. Weren't really expecting. Obviously, the results haven't gone the way they wanted. And Gaz relegated him about three years ago. Shame to see him.
Fucking harsh, isn't it?
Well, it was about 3 years ago. Gaz relegated him.
2025, I relegated them. That was so last year.
A shame to see Grant step away. You've obviously got a bit of a good friendship, with him as well. And obviously a club he wanted to get back into as well. So, what for him next?
Probably some time out. Probably some time out to reflect. Maybe to get a bit of love of the game back, There's no debating. He's a fantastic guy. He's always been great to us. He's always been, a supporter. He knew, and I've said this on other places as well, him and Andy knew what they were taking on. Okay? They knew they were up against it. But they also knew that they wanted to do the best for the club that they've had attachments to, 23s, 18s, around there. You can't dig them out for trying though. You can't dig them out for having actually wanting to have a go and putting yourself at that level and giving it a crack. No one can say that. Okay, if it don't work, it don't work. That's what it is. And it hasn't worked. It has. The thing is, they've got great players there as well. Really
Very good. Very good.
But they sort of took a team, put a team together, players that they knew. Then then a lot of changes are coming in. We understand that the harmony in the side isn't going to be there if you're changing 2 or 3 players every week. Or I'm gutted for them. I really am. It's now looking like even I have to. Yes.
Jesus. Gaz, ask him the question.
Are East Grinstead down?
No, not yet.
If they lose to Erith Town on Saturday,
They've not got Erith Town.
who have they got? Oh, they're at home, aren't they? Oh, hang on.
Look, they are.
We've got Erith Town.
How many go down? Statman is 3, isn't it?
It's 3 plus 1.
They've got Beckenham. If they lose to Beckenham,
Oh God.
So they are 20 points plus goal difference, 21 points, 7 games from safety. That puts them on 33 games. You're going to be playing 42. It's not looking good.
I've got a question. Are they going to be the first team in the country relegated this season?
no. There must be someone in step 5 or 6 that's got.
To be honest, Sheffield Wednesday, I think are still on negative points, are they not? So
That's true.
I think it might be them.
How do you know those kind of things? How do they just roll off the top of your nut?
Everyone knows Sheffield Wednesday have been docked points and docked points and docked points.
I didn't know that.
Charities all the way through. Jesus.
Genuinely didn't. Sorry.
It's the Championship, which is like the second tier in England. And also, I did live in Sheffield for quite a long time, so I did kind of keep abreast of it. They're 37 points from safety at the minute. I actually better make that 38 just because of the goal difference. You just never
Did they
know.
get dot points for financial irregularities or something?
Yeah, about 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Jesus, who was doing their books?
No one. That was pretty much it. Pretty much it.
But
I think it was Harry Redknapp, I think.
It was his pet, wasn't it? It was his pet bank account. Yeah, no,
Either that was
looking-
Mike betting it away, one or the other.
Yeah, it was. Well, now Real Madrid are down as well, so I'm all out. Do you know what I mean?
Chris, Eastbourne Town are in a very strong bit of form at the moment.
Yeah, and we just 6 unbeaten, longest unbeaten run of the season. We played some decent sides in there as well. I mean, Deal, we beat Deal at home the previous weekend. I mean, they've just beaten 3 Bridges. No, you know, so they're no mugs. To go away at Margate, though, I mean,
They had a real deal.
you could indeed, guys.
Hey.
But I mean, Margate are a bit weird. They do have a tendency to drop random points at home to teams you don't expect. Like they do. But that said, they did that last year and Town still went there and got a bit of a clubbing. So I wasn't expecting a great deal. To go there and get a win is just... Now we've got the squad back together, really, and people are coming back to fitness, the likes of Aaron Capon, Alfie Rogers. You know, we're able to... We do pose a bit more of a threat. So it's been a great... You know, yet again, a great job done by everyone at Eastbourne Town. And I think now, we're now 15 points clear of the relegation zone. So I'd like to think we'll be okay now. If we beat Erith at the weekend, I think that's it.
Game, set, and match.
Yeah, and to be honest, Hassocks could probably do with us beating Erith.
Yeah.
They're on a bit of a long one at the moment. They have sort of like 5 on the bank.
Yeah, they've got. I think it's the second lowest goal tally in the league. Just 32. The one thing they've got in their favour is they do still have Erith and VCD to come to the Beacon. I think those 2 games are going to be huge.
Absolutely. Right, let's get into the Isthmian South Central Division results. On Saturday, Bognor Regis Town went down 1-0 at home to Hendon. Littlehampton Town drew 2-2 with Hanworth Villa. Littlehampton are currently playing this evening. Gaz, what's the score?
Oh,
They're 1-0 down. They're 1-0 down.
1-0 down to Fareham Town, which is being played at Gosport Borough. This coming weekend, Ascot United host Bognor Regis Town, and Littlehampton Town head to Metropolitan Police. Notable point for Littlehampton on Saturday. Hanworth Villa are flying at the top end of that division. Obviously, if they win this evening at Fareham, they'll go above Bognor.
Cool. Mitchell love that, wouldn't he?
He would, wouldn't he? He would.
Yeah, but he'll say himself, isn't it, that it's consistency. He's had, you know, last 5 games, draw, win, loss, win. You know, which is better than what they've been doing. It's been 3-0 here, 4-3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
1-2, 2-1s, yeah.
It's crazy. And I know he struggled with injuries as well and a couple of suspensions, you know. But that's a tough league. I know you know a lot more about that league than me, Trev, but that's a tough league. Although saying that, Cal's doing all right at the other end with the money field.
Yeah. They got a late point at Met Police actually on Tuesday evening. But you say that though, Leatherhead were 3-0 up against Binfield a couple of weeks ago at half time, and I think they ended up losing 4-3 or 5-3. And Binfield were in
That's
the
it. Yeah. 2 games ago.
Yeah. Which just goes to show. I think Horndean have picked up a couple of Petersfield players that have been doing the rounds here, there, and everywhere. Obviously, with their demise over in the Wessex, so they should both be clear of relegation this year. I think, you know, I think there's plenty of points in between where they are at the moment, unless 2 or 3 of those teams in the bottom goes on a bit of a mad one, and everyone's looking over the shoulders a little bit.
Unbelievably, Littlehampton are playing Fareham Town tonight, aren't they? And Fareham are bottom with 5-6 defeats on the bounce. You know what I mean?
There's 13 points separates Met Police in 17th and Hazen Yedden in 5th.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
That's a tight league, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that league compared to a lot of the others though is one of the few that has not many games in hand in terms of all the way through. I mean, you look at like this week, there was no midweek games last week, not for our sides anyway. There's no midweek games this week apart from the Littlehampton game tonight, which was rearranged from only about 2 weeks ago. It's tight in that respect. You're only playing Saturday to Saturday.
I mean, you say that, but Bognor have played 28 and Binfield have played 23.
Yeah, so a little bit of disparity just for them.
I'll tell you what, Littlehampton, if they don't, how close it is, they could get, with a couple of bad results, they could get dragged into somewhere they don't want to be dragged into.
Yeah, they could. Yeah. So
Binfield have got a minimum of 3 games in hand over.
That's what I'm looking
all
at.
the teams above them.
Yeah.
Kingstonian have got 2 games in hand over all the teams above them.
And Binfield have won 4 of their last 5.
There we go. Where's the stat man when you want him?
Putting the kids to bed.
Putting the kids to bed, isn't it? Yeah, bless him. Right, let's get
Why
into.
Did that man come up with his picture when I took my camera off, I come out with Dugout.
Because the stat man is IT literate and you are just a food guy.
Oh mate, I just thought you liked me. You didn't like Trev.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how that's happened because I logged in to get all the clips and stuff. So I don't know whether it's because of that.
Shouldn't make a difference, should it? It might do, but anyway. Right, Southern Combination Premier Division time. On Saturday, Guernsey won 5-1 at New Haven. AFC Vardinians went down 2-1 at home to Stenning Town. Bexhill United beat Lancing 6-0. Peacehaven and Telscombe won 2-0 at Forest Row. Horsham YM won 2-1 at Lingfield. Little Common and Wickshed a 1-1 draw. The games at Midhurst and Eastbourne, Pagham and Rothie were all postponed. On Sunday in the FA Vars, which we'll come to in a little bit, Havertooth Town beat Great Yarmouth Town by 1-0. On Tuesday evening, the games at Crawley Down Gatwick, Pagham and Midhurst and Eastbourne were postponed. There's one game this evening, Gaz.
1-0 to Peacehaven.
Away at Bexhill United in that race for the playoff places. This coming weekend, Stenning Town head to Guernsey for a 2:00 kickoff. Bexhill United are at home to Crawley Down Gatwick. Eastbourne United entertain Rothie. Forest Row head to Havertooth Town. Horsham YM at home to Seaford Town. Peacehaven and Telscombe head to Lancing. Lingfield are at home to Little Common, being played at Stenning Town. Wick head to New Haven. Pagham are at home to AFC Vardinians. And Shoreham host Midhurst and Eastbourne on Tuesday evening. As you mentioned, the Sussex Senior Cup quarter-final, Horsham YM host Eastbourne Borough at 7:30. And in the Premier Division, Little Common host Lancing and Pagham are at home to Rothie, both 7:30 kickoffs, whilst Lingfield hosts Seaford Town with an 8 p.m. kickoff at AFC Whiteleaf. And on Wednesday, Bexhill United are at home to Guernsey.
I'll tell you what, that Guernsey Stenning game, that looks massive.
There are some very, very big ones.
Eastbourne United, Rothie.
Yeah. Who else have you got?
Well, Pagham Havertooth got called off last night.
I think.
Jeez.
Who's got a razor going?
Oh, sorry, it's my daughter's toothbrush.
I would say every game on Saturday, at least one of the sides has got something on it. Every single one.
And I'll tell you what, Forest Row, they will fancy a little chance going away to Hayward Heath there after the week they've had.
Nah, they'll be fine. They've had a break, haven't they? They didn't have to go to Pagham last night, so they'll be over the jet lag and coach lag of the trip up to Great Yarmouth.
Forest Row, a team that are like picking, they're doing a bit now. He's starting to get his side there now.
Yeah,
but
Guernsey do love New Haven, don't they? 7-1 at home, 5-1 win on the mainland. I know Sean won't appreciate you saying it, but my God, 12 times picking it out the net over 2 games.
I was going to say, you could say it doesn't get better than that. Doesn't?
Well, it doesn't. But they've obviously done the analysis properly. But like I said, that's going to be a hell of a game because obviously they both play on 3G as well. There will be a fat crowd at Guernsey.
They're staying overnight as well.
Oh, they're doing it proper then.
Yeah,
I think if the club can afford a little bit more bunts and turn up the day before and do it, or it's a bit of a ball ache. We turn up in the morning and go in the evening. because that's long, you know. But they're good on them. Good luck. I'd love to see that game, but that's gonna be a cracker, that game.
I tell you what, it was a massive game at the bottom.
They're all big games. They've all got something on it.
Yeah.
All of them.
But Shaw and Midhurst, like in terms of like weight, I mean that's two of the bottom three. I think Midhurst and Midhurst do have 4 games in hand on Shoreham, it's worth saying, but I think if they can win that, I don't know, does that mean they're out of Shoreham's reach?
If it's on. If it's
goal.
on, because I'll tell you what, it has been, the weather around here has been biblical.
I know.
It's the same everywhere.
Yeah,
and it's due to be bad tomorrow and Friday. So
yeah, it's going to be the 3 Gs again. I think this weekend are going to be the winners.
I think there'll be a lot of games called off this weekend.
Yeah, again, just for a change.
Yeah, I drove up to East Grinstead on Tuesday, and I'm surprised I survived. To be fair, and I'm not surprised the game didn't, because it would have just horrible, absolutely horrible.
When the teams can actually look at this and think, you know, because surely these clubs have got to look at some kind of better drainage. These clubs that really do suffer. I know there's costs involved, but they must surely have a look at alternatives. These teams, the same kind of teams that get called off.
It is, but I think it's hard. You know, each team's got its own unique circumstances. We spoke about Arundel a week ago or two, and as you said, like that ground surrounded by wetlands, there's not an awful lot you can do. I think the Lingfield project has taken, through no fault of anybody, because it's a complicated job, but their games were getting called off. They were like Uckfield. And I'd be interested to see what happens now they're back at Godstone Road, because they haven't gone to a 3G.
Well,
I believe it's grass. And
I know he's buying land up at Lingfield there. Yeah. 5 acres.
So it'll be but equally they're not going to want to just write off that massive cost that they've just taken in getting Godstone Road up. Uckfield, I can't see that happening anytime soon. You know, Eastbourne Town, we're really lucky. Like, we've got a grass pitch, but we don't lose many games. Touch wood before the inevitable postponement against Erith on Saturday.
I'll be looking out for that one.
But we don't. Generally, as grass pitches go, we must have one of the better records in and around Step 4.
So is it better drainage? Is it?
I doubt it. It does tend to gather up in one corner. And to be fair, the last 12 months have actually been really dry. But I think it might be better drainage. It might be just a bit of luck, decent ground staff. I don't know. But I know they work really hard.
Some of the problem is, though, when it rains, it doesn't rain, it hammers it down. And it does it so quickly that it's got nowhere to go. And then it's dry for a couple of days and you think, it's going to dry out. And then it does the same thing again. If it rained like a consistent amount through a day, a pitch could absorb it. At a point, it won't, because it is that time of year. But a lot of them used to be able to cope with it. Now, because it just literally drops it and that's it, there is nothing you can do unless you literally aerate it a lot.
Is there? Sorry, go on, guys. Go on.
I was going to say, I think somewhere like Arundel, I think they've got to have better drainage. You look how close that river is that runs through to
it's wetlands.
Touchline. Yeah, it's wetlands there, so there's got to be something there.
Is there also a case, though, gents, where, or am I just being too old school here, where a lot of games get called off for minor pitch degrading?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because the problem you've got...
I can't remember as many games when I played, maybe let's say 10 years ago, yeah? Compared to the last few years. Games seem to get called off a lot easier nowadays.
4 words, player health and safety. The problem is that if you end up with a bad tackle on a pitch that plays that you probably shouldn't have done, are you open then to a lawsuit, counter-suing, all sorts?
Well, even
honestly, it opens the way health and safety is these days. I'd play the game I saw a couple of weeks ago, Arundel against Reigate Priory. Lot of referees. Yeah, exactly. That is I know it does take a long time as well. A lot of referees wouldn't have played it on that pitch. There were a lot of tackles that gave the referee a decision to make, which was great because you don't see a lot of it. And again, I was brought up on those kind of watching football on those kind of pitches because it was allowed then. But because of the culture of society these days, you open yourself up. Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say the same.
No, it is.
You open yourself up to so many different ramifications. It really isn't worth the hassle. I mean, you imagine if you allowed a game to play, there's a tiny maybe corner that you thought that's really icky. Up 75% is fine. Some guy goes in, tackle because of the conditions, breaks his leg, maybe doesn't play again. That's on you as a referee and I can understand that side of it. You and I would say, let's go and play because that's what it used to be like. But it's just not 20 years ago. Come on, Chris.
No, I totally get that.
Hang on, let Chris get on.
No, I was just going to say, actually, it'd be really interesting because obviously we did that player insurance thing. It'd be really interesting to know actually whether there's actually limits in that cover. Not because it's a poor product or whatever, but I used to work in insurance. I know that there are certain instances where insurers will just not pay claims because of something or other.
Yeah, I mean, I can help you with this because obviously me, Trev, and Gaz have gone through this insurance. We had to make sure that the ones we were offering for the players was for the players, not the insurer. As we've been involved with clubs and we played and things like that, we know that if you turn your ankle or you do your ACL or you break a leg, you want the money to be there. You don't want no bullshit excuse from insurance companies with little T's and C's saying, that maybe that pitch shouldn't have been played or we'll do that. So it's a good point to make, Statman. It absolutely is, but I can assure you the one we've got is one for the players, not for your average Joe, if you see what I mean. It does protect them, and we made sure that was the right policy we get involved in.
Well,
but I'm just going back to that point in the things, and just a little off that now. You see it at schools as well, don't you? When you get slightest bit of ice around a school or a little bit of snow, cancel school. And Trev, you're right, because they don't want the lawsuits. If someone slips, the health and safety, there's got to be a balance, though, hasn't there?
It should be.
Because it can only get more and more health and safety as we get through, and more and more red tape in there. At what point do you have to say, it's getting a bit ridiculous, because I've seen pictures this season that you think, why is that called off? Yeah. And then you see ones, I saw Shoreham the other day. They had the kettles out, the hot water kettles out to get the game on. And bearing in mind, they're a team that are bang out of form. And so they must do that,
How many times has Gaz said this season about games at Arundel that probably shouldn't have gone ahead? Like he's
been to a couple, yeah.
But at what point is it where I suppose it's down to the referee's decision, isn't it? And I don't know. It just seems a bit light for me.
It's all
games.
There's a lot of personal perspective, isn't there, from the referees? Because the clubs might look at it and go, "Nah, that shouldn't be on." The referee will look at it and go, "Nah, it's off." Or the referee will look at it. The players are like, "Oh, this game should be off," and the referees are like, "Yeah, it's okay. It's bouncing. It's doing what it should do." There's a lot of personal perspective in calling a game off, I think.
All right, here's one for you then. Rest in peace to the Orange Ball, because we'll never see him again. Remember the Orange Ball you used to have when
it used to come out and slow, didn't it?
Rest in peace to the Orange Ball.
I used to have a little Sabutio one as well in my set. Orange Ball as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just probably a bit too old school in that way that says that, but if we're looking now on a Tuesday and we're already saying, I reckon that game will get called off. I reckon that game will get called off. You know,
I speak to my old man about it all the time, and he was like, "When I was playing, we used to play in mud pits," and I'm like,
mate, that's when men were real men, mate.
Pitches had no grass right from one goal mouth through the middle to the other end back in those days. That's how it was, you know. I mean, we're a bit more advanced with the type of grass seed and stuff you can do to a pitch and put down in the summer, but that's how it was then. But, you know, there it is 20 years ago. Right, let's have a quick move into the FA Vars. And my double football weekend came off. I got to Brentwood on Saturday and to Yarmouth on Sunday. No fog this time, Michael. Not much evidence out by the beach either, so it didn't look like it was going to come in. And it didn't come in. His win did come in. But
well, I didn't expect the fog to come in last time. That went on my bingo card. You know what I mean?
It's nowhere near this time. It's cold though. It was cold.
Anything to do with you and gambling, mate? I was surprised. It wasn't, to be honest with you.
Well, to be fair, I gambled on you lot for the podcast, and it seems to have worked.
I think we took the gamble actually. And another good crowd, 663. In on obviously Sunday. Obviously, a lot of people. Norwich didn't play till Monday, so that probably helped as well. I wouldn't have said there was a gap in class, as you said, Mike, on the thing.
You didn't watch the first game, did you?
No, but I didn't see the gap in class. The pitch was a superb leveler. Go on, Chris.
I was going to say, I don't think you saw much of the game either because of the fog.
Yeah, he worked at the bar anyway. He never sees half of any game. The pitch.
I'm propping up their economy.
A really good leveler. Didn't give Haywards Heath much of a chance to play much of a game, and I did think when they scored early there was going to be a bucket load of goals and a landslide victory. But Yarmouth have got a very young team. That's the only difference I'd say between the two is they're very young, not got a lot of experience, but that youthful exuberance, they weren't afraid to take on Haywards Heath and run at them and go at them, which I think was why the scoreline was so tight. They actually had Yarmouth more chances on target, all straight at Nathan Stromberg Clark, than what Haywards Heath did. But job well done. Through to the fifth round, and AFC Stoneham on the 7th of February, which should be a cracking game as they've only lost 2 out of their 21.
Have you seen they're already putting it out, AFC Stoneham, that they are the underdogs and all this, like, you know, and all that lot. They're two teams that are flying in their leagues.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I
tell
you what.
Trev, just go back to that great Yarmouth game. If Haywards Heath play them 10 times, how many are they winning?
Probably 10.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I think if they were in that Prem, they would be bottom 5, bottom 6.
What, Great Yarmouth?
Yeah.
Nah, they're better than a few of the sides in ours as well, I'd say. Don't think they'd be bottom 6. They'd be mid-table, I think. No higher than that. But I don't think they'd be bottom.
Maybe they had an off day when I saw them, mate.
Probably. But, well, I mean, they scored that day, though.
Yeah, they did. And they celebrate like they won the World Cup when that was on. I thought it was brilliant. I did think it was brilliant, though.
Well, the thing is as well, I mean, they were step 6 2 years ago, and you're playing a side that's lost, what, one league game they lost this year? You know, and you're 4 wins away from Wembley at that point last Sunday, or the Saturday before. You know, you would celebrate like you won the flipping thing because you were, you know, you'd knocked out one of the sides that is expected to be in the final or in the last 4 at least.
Haywards Heath was step 4 2 years ago, weren't they?
No, it might have been longer than that. 2 years.
I think it was 3.
1, 2, 3 years. Yeah. So quite. Yeah. So there was a 2-division gap between the pair of them 3 years ago.
What did you make of the actual place? Though it's a bit. I don't want to do them a bad term, but it looks like it's in better days around there, isn't it?
Council owned, isn't it? What can they do? They're only tenants, the same as Gorleston are.
Which is why it all kicked off, isn't it? With the ground share and everything like that.
Yeah. Which brought some healthy debates. Some debates. Well, I mean, the thing being was that all anyone could come back with, these are the rules. Yeah, I know that, but why not actually give your opinion on whether the ball should still stay as they are and be followed, or they should change. Don't just quote what the flipping rules are. We can all do that, and that ain't an opinion, you know. But trying to get that
Rules
through
are
to
there
some
to be
people was
broken,
rather
aren't they?
difficult. Pardon?
Rules are there to be broken, aren't they?
Well, exactly. Yeah, they were at school, weren't they?
And at what stage does it split up from north and south? This FA Vars?
No.
It was, but it's gone regional. It's still regional. It used to be by
because I looked at that because it is still regional at the moment.
I think it might be the round after because Littlehampton played Brockenhurst this time. Then they had North Shields in the quarter-final, then Loughborough in the semi-final. Yes, I think it's one after this one. So the last two rounds.
And I'll tell you what, there's some big sides still left in this for this level, and you've still got some. Who? Whitstable.
Oh yeah.
Hayward Heath, Stoneham, and Whitstable are pretty decent, like for the level. Like they're in great form. You've got Droylsden, who were just outside Manchester, who were Conference North. They might have even been Conference actually back in the day.
At one point, yeah, they've been all
top. You got Fisher, who were definitely Conference South.
Yeah, they were Conference back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, and you got North
reincarnation.
Yeah, North Shields are pretty big. You got potential for a Mancunian clash because West Idri and Chorlton are still in the mix as well. So it's going to be.
I think there's at least one step 6 side. I think still in.
But there's a couple of Droylsden apparently a step 6.
I think it might be 2 actually.
Yeah,
and
Gornal Athletic, Bilston Town, Droylsden, and then Lymore Gardens.
But Droylsden and Bilston face off, so there'll be at least one in the quarters.
Cool. So, they're happy with that, bloody hell. I'll be honest, though, I do fancy them. Hayward Heath at home to do them. I think that's a stronger league than West Owen play.
Personally, I'd love to see a Whitstable Hayward Heath semi, 2 legs.
Nah, leave it for the final.
That'd be amazing.
Me, Trev, and Gaz were at, I keep calling you Gav, mate. Sorry, Dave. Me, Trev, and Gaz were. We were at finals day last year at Wembley, weren't we? And
me and Trev were there all day. You buggered off at just after our first game, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, mate. Do you know, I was some things to do, but they brought back, and to be honest, mate, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of actually watching football. You know that.
Difficult for you to nip off for a flag, isn't it, at Wembley?
Beer, no, that's a different story.
But my point being, Whitstable bought 10,000 fans, didn't they? It was ridiculous, wasn't it? You know,
yeah.
So
if you get, I've said it all season now. If you get past Whitstable, then you'll win the Vars. That simple. They're something like 8 or 11 points clear at the top of the skiffle.
I can't believe that they were 10-1 when Hayward Heath were 5-2.
Yeah, silly.
Yeah. I'm like, how?
That's bookies that don't know football. That's bookies that don't know football. Simple as that.
They'll have rushed it out, knowing like they'll have been asked for a price and they'll have just rushed it out. I've been in bookies call centers when that's happened, and they're like, give them this, and they'll put some out that they won't get hung and drawn and quartered for. That might be.
I still bet on Hayward Heath though, didn't I? I saw him and I thought I'd go. So I put a bet on
current bet
on Kev and his boys.
Yeah.
You got Hayward Heath 3-1.
Yeah.
North Shields 6-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gornal Athletic 6-1.
Mm-hmm.
Whitstable Town 6-1. Winsford United 8-1. West Didsbury and Chorlton 10-1. Droylsden 10-1, and AFC Stoneham 10-1.
Wow, 10's bar, brilliant. So yeah, that's basically an admission that they don't have a clue, but they have a fancy for Hayward Heath.
But Gornal Athletic, aren't they one of the 3 step 6 sides still left in it, or 4 step 6 sides still left in it? And they're sat at 6.
There's a couple of step 6 sides still left in it, which is really, really brilliant for this time of the competition as well.
You've got to fancy them against Stoneham though, haven't you? At home.
I don't know, they're in good
form.
I
would see if you get a crowd down there.
I don't know, yeah, but Heath struggle at home in the Vars. They're all right away from home.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I wouldn't rule out North Shields just because Geordie teams tend to have a really, really good record. They won it. I was at the final when they won it 10 years ago. Was it 10 years ago?
Yeah, I think I was.
Would you
I
say
think I was
George-
there as well.
Did you say Geordie?
What, against Glossop?
Did you say
Yeah, I
Geordie?
think so. Yeah, yeah. There's not many I haven't seen.
Oh,
Chris, did you say Geordie
I was
teams?
probably at that one as well, to be fair.
Mate, I remember there was a team up Newcastle we used to play against in the Nationals called Walls End.
Yeah, Walls End Boys Club. They're quite famous.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that
they
one
are
fight,
famous, yeah.
where like Shearer and all that lot.
Mm.
You know,
Michael Carrick, I think, as well.
quite possibly.
What a manager he is, eh?
Right, we're digressing. Let's go into Southern Combination Division 1, or we're never going to get finished this evening, are we? Right, on Saturday, the games at AFC Uckfield, Arundel and Billingshurst were postponed. Infinity drew 1-1 with Worthing United. Jarvis Brook and AFC Walcounties was postponed. Lockwood beat Oakwood by 4-2. East Preston won 2-0 at Mile Oak, and Ringmer AFC beat Selsey by 2-1. This coming Saturday, Arundel at home to Infinity. Billingshurst hosts Copthorne, so that'll be those two off. Lockswood hosts Selsey, and Reigate Prior at home to Mile Oak. Then on Tuesday evening, Reigate Prior at home again, at this time to Oakwood. Chris, you were at Ringmer AFC against Selsey on Saturday afternoon.
I was. Lovely time had by all. Good game.
Apart from Selsey. Apart from Selsey.
Oh no, the people I spoke to from Selsey still seem to have a good time. Yeah, really good game. It was pretty even. I think a draw would have been a fair result, and I think Tommy basically said
what a winner!
What a moment! Yeah, young 16-year-old lad, just with the goal of a lifetime. I think it's fair to say. Like, he charged off a centre forward in the centre circle, carried it, shimmied it onto his right foot, and then just leathered one in and into the top bins. And I think the word scenes is probably appropriate here.
Don't you love to see that though? You know, a youngster going up there taking his chance. I saw the goal, and you look at the technique, the way he actually hit the ball. Yeah, he's worked on that. That technique.
And the shimmy, because he sent his defender off for a fucking hot dog or one of Ringmer's brilliant burgers. It was, it was brilliant. Oscar Morris, take a bow, son, because that was an absolutely fantastic moment. Thing is, as well, he was at the bar at full time, like clutching a lemonade, and I mean, you've seen the pictures. He's only little, and I was like, and it was only because the Shoreham players were saying, "Oh, what a goal, kid!" I mean, they moved. They parted.
You mean Selsey, not Shoreham?
Sorry, Selsey, right. Sorry, you are right. And I was like, they parted, and I saw this little lad with a lemonade. But yeah, no, great moment for the lad. Great result for Ringmer. Their fine form continues. Bit of a bit damaging for. Sorry,
go on, carry on.
Right,
first game of charades.
In my account.
Oh right, great result for Ringmer. Interesting. I mean, the teams in that playoff race, they'll just drop points every now and then. That's what keeps us guessing. That's what keeps it interesting, isn't it?
Draw, don't they?
So yeah, but I think so. I mean, it's worth saying as well that like Selsey were on top. Like they got the equaliser. That goal, the winner, a little bit came out of nothing. There was a fantastic save in the first half from Ringmer's keeper just after Ringmer took the lead, and you heard the glove on ball, and when it hit the post, and it was like, how on earth has he saved that? Like, it was a proper jaw dropper of a save. So it wasn't without its challenges for Ringmer, but a great result for them.
Absolutely. New manager in at Infinity, Deck Sidon replacing Sean Gale, started off with a 1-1 draw, and obviously we'll expect a few players to move on from Infinity and a few to bring in, but not a bad first signing, bringing in Harrison Cable from Petersfield Town, who's scored an absolute bucket load for them over there. That's a really, really good coup for them.
That for me was a statement, you know, because it's well documented what happened with Sean, and allegedly they say, and the chairman, you know, they had a falling out. Well documented at Milo. You wonder whether players play for a manager and a club. You know, there's certain managers in this league and the league above where if they left the club, players would walk. I thought that would happen with Infinity. What do? They go in and bring in someone like Harrison, who is better than this league. I think. Let's be honest, yeah. And it sort of steadied the ship, I think. They're playing against a very, very good Worthing United team as well.
Well,
didn't
10 men.
Yeah, wasn't it 10 men for about 20 minutes onwards or something like that?
Yeah, 13 minutes. Josh Hazel with a great save, but regrettably he wasn't the one wearing the gloves, so he walked. But Infinity then saved the penalty, and Worthing, and then so it was obviously quite a key thing, but quite a key moment in the game. Also, fair play to Infinity for not just the fact that they got the game on when, it seemed that events were conspiring against them, but also just the way they communicated it was great. They put out that there was no one available for a pitch inspection. They put that on Twitter quite early. Then an official reached out and said, "Actually, I'll do it." And they managed to get the game. They managed to do the inspection, get the game on. But I just thought the way they communicated it was just class. So
I wonder if the same person that does their social media, if it's the same person that does their
interviews. Yeah, Charlie, I think it is. Yeah,
a young lad. Great future. You love to see it. It can only be, he's learning his trade and that, and he's a really, really nice lad. And but there is a little bit of news coming out of the Infinity camp, isn't there? Am I the one that's going to might have to say so, or do we not speculate on this show?
We don't speculate on this show. They might speculate on other shows, but not on this show.
Not on this show.
We deal in facts.
All right.
No fiction. Right.
All right. So what I can't say anything there.
No. Not out there, is it? Not out there. So it's all fiction, hearsay, until it's in the public domain. All right, let's get on to step 7 and into Southern Combination Division 2 results. Last Saturday, Alfold beat Boston by 2-0. Southwater won by the same scoreline at ASC Brighton Rangers. Capel and Upper Beeding was postponed, as was Rudrick and Worthing Town. Chichester City B beat Storrington 7-0, second territory, Mike. Rustington beat TD Shipley by 2-0, and Hailsham beat Ferring by the same scoreline. On Tuesday evening, TD Shipley won 4-2 at home to Worthing Town. This coming Saturday, TD Shipley head to Bosham. Brighton Electricity host Storrington. Ferring are at home to ASC Brighton Rangers. Hailsham Town host Rudrick. Rustington are at home to Alfold. Chichester City B head to Southwater, and Upper Beeding host Worthing Town. On Tuesday evening, Division 2 Challenge Cup semi-final, Hailsham Town against Rustington, 7:30 p.m. at Shoreham. And in the quarter-final, Chichester City B against TD Shipley. In the Mid-Sussex Division last Saturday, the Montgomery Cup, Holland Sports and Reigate Pro Reserves was postponed. In the Sussex Intermediate Cup, Cookfield Rangers won, Hollington United won, with Hollington going through 5-4 on penalties. Westfield beat Linfield 6-0. Games at Polegate Town and Shoreham Seconds were postponed, and Crowhurst drew 1-1 with French's Athletic. This coming Saturday in the Montgomery Cup, French Athletic host Balcombe and Linfield host Wivelsfield Green. In the Premier Division, Cookfield Rangers head to Hollington United, Reigate Pro Reserves at home to Shoreham Seconds, Rotherfield at home to Holland Sports, and Westfield host Punnets Town. In the West Sussex Division, all the games were postponed last Saturday. This coming weekend, Billingshurst Reserves against TD Shipley Reserves, Petworth go to Harting, Holbrook Olympic home to Watersfield, and Wittering United host Dell United. They might actually get some football this weekend. Right, Sussex Senior Cup semi-final draw. Horsham, YM or Eastbourne Borough against Brighton Hove Albion under 21s, and Three Bridges not at home, but Three Bridges versus Worthing. Both ties will be at Culver Road. Three Bridges game has been set today for Tuesday the 17th of March, and I think the other one is something like the 7th of March for the winners of the Horsham YM Eastbourne tie, which is next week.
Well
done.
But just giggling away as usual in the corner. I tell
you what, it's a big chance for Horsham YM.
Depending on if Liam gets them to send the under-16s on Tuesday night.
Well, look, what's more important to Eastbourne Borough.
I don't know. I'll text Hugo after the show and ask him what's more important.
Well, when you text him now and ask him.
Because I'm busy trying to present the show. That's why I haven't got time to tap away on my phone.
What's more important, the Sussex Senior Cup, potential semi-final against Brighton, or the league?
Well, you three have kind of said they're going down anyway, so they might as well put all the eggs in the basket and win the Senior Cup and have a day out of the Annex.
I reckon it will be a lot tougher than they think on that Tuesday night.
Depends what kind of side they send, doesn't it?
Yeah, if they send the side that's been playing now, obviously the Horsham will be massive underdogs, but at home, roughing them up on a pitch like that, the leveler. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if they do turn them over.
The conditions will be a bit of a leveler because I remember thinking that Haywards Heath would give him one earlier in the season. Now that wasn't Priory Lane, but Borough did come through that relatively unscathed. It was 3-0 in the end, I think. Hey up. So yeah, we will see on that one.
We will indeed. Right, team of the week sponsored by Singers Roofing. This week gone to Burgess.
No, hold on. Old Beggy Mitchell in the bottom left-hand corner.
I was going to come to him in a minute for Burgess Hill's win over playoff chasing Dartford. There weren't too many candidates, were there, Gaz? Because there wasn't a lot of football as it was.
No.
Who was in the conversation, lads? Or are you not going to say that?
Ringmer and Eastbourne Town, but someone was a little bit beggy, so they kind of slipped down the pecking order.
Is that it? If some team or that gets a bit beggy, you just don't give it to them?
It wasn't a team; it was me.
It was him. Yeah, it was him. It was him in the corner.
Don't go tarring Eastbourne Town with my epoxy brush. Yeah, that was entirely my doing.
Yeah, don't go begging. It don't end well. We know that.
I think we just felt that the result against Dartford was a standout result. To be fair,
Dartford are very good, and like I said, like Margate do have this weird habit of just dropping points at home. If
you won 3-2 at Sittingbourne or somewhere like that, or Faversham, you probably would have got it. But
we did win 4-1 at Faversham earlier in the season, but again, it's just the timing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it Burgess Hill, Peacehaven, and Lingfield? The other three?
Huh?
Burgess Hill, Lingfield. Who's the other one?
No, Town and Ringmer.
Oh, the three that won it. He won the middle one. Was it Three Bridges?
It might have been Ringmer it might have been Lingfield for being off.
Someone pull up the website and have a look. It'll tell you.
Well, it's definitely Lingfield and Burgess Hill. I think Three Bridges. So yeah, that'd be it.
Yes.
That'd be interesting because there's a lot of supporters there who could vote there.
Yeah, but I think that some of the other sides we've handed it to have been in the mix for the 4, and I'm like they've turned up with less than 10% of the vote at the end of it. Just all depends.
Maybe they thought they didn't deserve it. So
well, maybe they thought they didn't need to vote because they walk off and get it anyway, and it just never happens, does it? Right, anyone got any shout outs?
Yeah.
Go on.
Jack Spong, 100 games for Worthing.
Yeah,
congratulations, Sponger.
Yeah. He reached that against it doesn't actually say.
No, it doesn't. Stop trying to be clever.
Congratulations to Jack Spong for 100 games at Worthing.
Anyone else?
No.
I'll go. When I was at just a cheers to everyone at Ringmer for their hospitality at the weekend. So Will Hugo, John Hart, Tommy Haddon. Also met Tyrese Whiteoak, who obviously went through that horrendous injury.
Is he in good spirits?
The week before. It was really nice to meet him, actually. Yeah, he seemed relatively, in relatively high spirits relative to the fact that obviously he's had a really bad injury and he's obviously had a really traumatic week. But the fact that he was up and about, he obviously just, loves being around the lads at Ringmer. Everyone, it's a real family club. I think anyone who's been there will attest to that. yeah, it was good to see him in relatively high spirits as well. You know, again, given everything he's been through. So, yeah, nice to meet you, and good all the best for your recovery, Tyrese.
Yeah, and you haven't spoken about your thing yet, Trev.
No, I'll do that in a sec. I'll just do my two first. Also in the 100 Club, Kieran Britland at Billingshurst, and in the 150 Club, Henry Muggeridge, Crowborough Athletic. So,
Of course.
congratulations to you two, and of course Spongy for reaching the three figures.
Congratulations,
Off you go, Mike. Off you go.
Sorry, what's that? What?
Go on.
Are we not going to talk about your new site?
We can do.
Yeah, Well, I said you should be talking about it. You should be mentioning it. It's great. You've done fantastic in it. Take it away, Trevor. The floor is yours. Dance to the beat.
Dance to the beat. Right. www.footballwriting.co.uk has moved to www.footballwriting.com, although the old address still will direct across, so it doesn't matter if you put the wrong one in. I've had a standalone site built specifically for me because I couldn't find exactly what I wanted, which was for people to be able to read individual articles rather than paying for a full month or a full year, because I don't pigeonhole myself into a certain corner of non-league. I stick it all over, absolutely everywhere. So you've now got the ability to actually subscribe for free and read each article on its own. But if you don't subscribe for free and you unlock it, it will lock itself again after you've paid for it. So if you subscribe for free and then open your 75p ones, they stay open forever.
And how much are these Trev? Like, how much for the people back at home?
75p. I just said.
Yeah, no, but what? No, but
go on.
That's just for one article.
That's just for one article, yeah.
Okay, so what if everyone wanted to say someone to come on and wants to subscribe to your channel and have complete access?
Yeah, then subscribe for a month for a £5 or subscribe for a year, £48. It's entirely up to you how you want to do it. There's a few more bits and pieces to add to the site as well. A few more bits to give it a bit more clarity. I know you guys have had a look at it, and most of the feedback I've had so far is the navigation's really easy. It's also very interfaceable on a mobile as well as on a desktop, which is obviously really important. And a bit like most things, there isn't a lot of boundaries to it. There's bits I can add to it. There's bits I can take away. The podcast will always be free. So if you do sign up as a free subscriber, you'll always get access to the podcast. And when I get the guy to have a look at it, what used to be the Friday freebies, they're all in the archive. We'll be working on making those still free as well, so you still have access to those. But if you want to read it, you got to pay, but you pick and choose what you want to read, what you don't want to read. It's your choice, not mine.
Well, I think from my own personal feedback of reviewing it yesterday and the day before, I think it's a massive upgrade on the Substack that you were doing there. I think it's extremely well laid out, usable. Obviously, your content is fantastic anyway. But I really urge people to get on, have a little look at footballwriting.com and see, look, for the price of a Madri, right? For a price of a Madri, you can go and check out all of Trev's stuff. A £5. Do you know
and it's award-winning.
Yeah.
And it's award-winning, yeah. And look, we spill more than that, a £5's worth at the weekend. So,
do.
Get on there, have a look. It's definitely a great site, and you can see his work anyway in 7, 8, 9 different teams. 13 now. Unlucky for some, unlucky for you, but around the south.
Unlucky for him on a Monday when he's writing for them all.
Yeah.
That's when you don't approach him on a Monday, do you? You don't party there on a Monday.
Absolutely.
So just finally, for everyone, to make sure you go and check that out. Have
And
little work. And
let me give the last shout out to Andrew Dalhouse at AA Media Studios. He's the guy that's built the site as well. I had him recommended to me by someone else who built a site for them. Go and check out his work on his website as well, for what he can do. If you're in the market for a new site for new bits and pieces, get on and have a look and see what he does. Right, where's everyone heading next week, apart from Vegas, Disneyland, and maybe Eastbourne Town?
I'll start then. Because let's just get this out of the way. Yeah, I will be in Las Vegas. I fly out on Friday. 3 days of working, 5 days of partying. Just to got a bit of promo out there. Got a bit of announcement coming out there. Something that's been very long awaited might be delivered out there. So that's all I will say. It's put it this way, it's signed up. So, yeah.
I'm going to Disneyland on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I went to Disneyland in Florida, right?
No, I'm not going to Florida. I'm going to Paris.
Oh, okay.
Mickey Mouse.
No, it's Le Mickey Mouse to you. Thank you. Yeah, driving down Saturday. There till I might make it back for Wednesday. I might not.
So you've booked a guest in for next Wednesday, and you might not actually be here for it. That's
Okay.
superb.
I won't be here because I will actually be working Wednesday because I will be 8 hours behind.
It's my gift to you.
Does that mean you've booked in the guest?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to be here. What's that?
It's all right. I'll send you his email.
I don't reckon that guest will turn up anyway.
He's not someone to shy away from tough questions.
I just know he's a very busy man. A great guest if you can get him on, but a very, very busy man.
I mean,
So, Gaz, when are we actually going to get another burger review then? Next season?
Well, I was just looking actually. I was actually looking at fixtures.
You're not here for any of them. Mike, did you have a burger at Yarmouth?
No, I didn't have much of an appetite, to be fair.
You twat.
Not you, Mike. Talking about Mike there.
Gaz?
Rain ain't Nori.
Yeah, go on, Gaz. You were looking at fixtures.
I was looking at Burgess Hill and another club potentially in the next couple of weeks.
So you mean if they win the team of the month, you can then go and present it?
No. I was looking at when Burgess Hill are next at home, and they are at home in the next few weeks. So I'll have a look and see. Look, I said to you the other day, I'm struggling to go to games at the moment. So
You're struggling to message me in the daytime, let alone get to games.
Struggling what?
Struggling to message me in the daytime, let alone get to games.
I'm a busy man, mate.
Yeah. You busy? Did you go to Bromley last night?
Say again?
Did you go to Bromley last night?
No. I was in bed by 8:30.
Jesus, see, rock and roll, Gaz, rock and roll. Mike's accumulators failed again, and now his screen's frozen. Superb.
I mean, Atletico Madrid are getting battered by Bodo Glimp at home.
Yes, he got done by them.
By them last week.
Right, I might do a little an offshoot. One of my mates, one of my close mates, his name's Mike, yeah. One of my closest mates. He knows how bad I am at this. And he thinks it could be some kind of skit that we could do. So yeah. Whatever I say, just do the opposite.
Yeah, make sure you back Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl, yeah?
No, I'm going with the Pates. Broncos ain't even in it, I know that.
Yeah, but then if you lose, it's not going to make any difference, is it then? You can say, well, they didn't even make it. So, Chris, you're off to the Saffrons on Saturday?
You are correct, sir. I am predictable. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. It'll be good. Again, maybe stretch to a 7-game unbeaten run, which at this level for Eastbourne Town will be years in the making.
Must be time to get Jude back on the pod then.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Right, if you want to get in touch with us, you can find us on X at the SNLF and on Facebook, the SNLF.co.uk. Gaz?
On Instagram and TikTok, the SNLF.co.uk. And YouTube, the SNLF podcast. Let's get to 50 so we can go live on there, please. I'm on 17 at the moment.
Got to do some work there. Got to do some work.
We are, but we've got some decent hours on there. We've got 11 hours of watch time and 5,500 views, just shorts. So, yeah.
Decent.
Getting there. And Chris?
At _Chris Pryor.
And Mike, they'll find you in Vegas or in the dugout.
You find me at betwithmike.com.
Don't bet
with
with
Mike. My new
Mike.com.
website for giving out all the tips. Yeah, it's going to be live any day.
Betwithmike.com. Betwithmike.com/lose all your money.
Oh, yeah, imagine if I go to Vegas, though. Get that, pull the old sock. Ding, 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 ding. You won't see me again, lads. I'll be gone. Be done.
There's no chance of that happening.
There's more chance of instead staying up.
It can happen. Why not? Why not?
Because maths.
It's you and betting. It doesn't go together, does it? Doesn't go together.
Yeah, look.
Right.
Yeah. Is what it is.
All right.
Where are you off to this weekend?
I haven't a clue. I was waiting to find out which day. Because I'm in Guernsey. I was waiting to find out which day my daughter decided she wants to bless me with her company. And as it's not Saturday, I can go a bit further afield. So I don't know yet, and I don't know next Tuesday, but I will be somewhere. Never fear.
Do Yapton not have a team anymore? They used to have a decent little team, a little local.
Who? Sorry,
little Yapton.
They're in something like Division 3 or 5 of the West Sussex. I think they still got a side, and a reserve team, I think, as well.
A reserve.
Yeah,
love that.
There we go. Right, me and Chris will be back next week as the other two are swanning off on their jollies. Enjoy the next 7 days of football wherever you end up. And me and the Statman will see you next week. And the other two will be back in 2 weeks' time, and I won't be here.
Where you going?
I'm off.
Did you put that in the?
Yes.
Did you put the absence?
Yes.
You did.
Yes.
Statman, did he?
Yeah, it was signed off and everything.
Okay.
Superb. See. See you guys next week.
Bye.
All the best, guys.